Boom shakalaka, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters around the world. Welcome to the Crystal Journey podcast, the Twilight Zone, where we talk about weird science, freaking magic, and everything that is going on in this crazy world of ours, planet Earth, the third rock from the sun. It is your boy Crystal, aka the Chocolate Nubian Soul Brother from Ghana, West Africa, aka the Esoteric Noetic. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, click on the bell, tell your friends, tell your mom, drop us some comments, drop us those cryptocurrencies, those donations. Thank you everyone that has been doing so. I appreciate you. Let's get it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to start off by making a few predictions for 2022. Now, I got to tell you, it is good being a conspiracy theorist right now because making predictions is so fucking easy. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, let's get business out of the way. Make sure you save your bitcoins because, the cryptocurrency world might be a little down today, but yeah, it's going up, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin, your crypto, your Ethereum, your Dogecoin, your Bitcoin Cash, it is going to the moon. It is going to the moon. Oh, and save your unvaccinated spermies as well. And for you ladies out there, save your ovaries because that shit is going to be worth gazillions. Mine is going to be worth quadruple gazillions because, I got chocolate Nubian jizzies and I am planning on making a killing from those in the near future. Now, next order of predictions, ladies and gentlemen, now obviously right now we are dealing with the Omicron strain, right? That's very serious. Serious business here. But if you thought the Omicron was bad, wait for Optimus Prime and Megatron strains and a whole bunch of other strains to come out because we are going to be seeing, no doubt, more variants, no doubt, more booster jabs, no doubt, more boom shakalakas, and more of this this regime. Ladies and gentlemen, this shit is not going away anytime soon. And if you were one of those people that is aware, well, buckle up, bitches, because you were in for a challenge. But stay strong. Stay tuned to the Chocolate Nubian. I shall guide you through these waters and make the experience a little bit more enjoyable with my silliness. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about a podcast that I listened to just yesterday. This was the greatest. It came out last month. So I'm going to say that this was the greatest podcast of 2021. It was an interview with Dr. Malone.
What I'm saying is the FDA created so much grief that the DOD decided the juice wasn't worth the squeeze, and they just dropped that arm.
Why do you think that is?
Dr. Robert Malone, who is the creator of the mRNA technologies that have been used in the majority of the boom shakalakas. Now, I know a lot of people have been saying that he's not really responsible for it, and it's just nonsense, it's conspiracy theory, but I'm going to say that you should check out the podcast yourself. Have a look at the truth bombs that this guy was dropping. Now, clearly, for obvious reasons, I'm not going to talk about a lot of these things, but what I can mention is that here's a guy that took the Moderna jabby, had certain experiences with this, right? And it's not like this guy is an anti-vaxxer, an anti-waxer, even though he's been deemed so by the mainstream media, so it must be true. This guy was not only responsible for many of the boom shakalaka technologies. This guy was responsible for the Ebola boom shakalaka and has been responsible for creating a lot of boom shakalakas in the past. For crying out loud, he is the inventor of these technologies that are being implemented at the moment. mRNA. You know what I'm talking about. And this is a guy that is at the forefront of this, comes out, talks about essentially what is going on, is one of the few major public figures talking about this that does not have any conflicting interests, and he has been vehemently attacked by the mainstream media, was recently taken down from Twitter, from the Twitterverse, has been attacked in so many ways. And people ask, well, why is he doing this? Clearly he must want attention. When the reality is, this guy is in his 60s. His career is essentially finished. And the last thing he wants to do is come out and become a pariah. But because he is someone that truly cares about what is going on, he's someone that is quite happy to plant himself like a tree beside the river of truth and say nay to the tyranny, because what we are seeing outside of all the science, it violates bioethical standards, it violates the most basic principles of the natural law, and it is unequivocally, unassailably evil, immoral, despite what all the momos might be telling you. Oh, look, man, it's public health and safety. Oh, we got to think about what's in the best interest of the greater good. No, you all know, we all know what is going on is fundamentally disgusting. And Dr. Robert Malone is quite willing to stand up against it. And it was one of the most beautiful interviews because he uncovers so much of what is going on so many different levels. The science. This guy is highly definitive, highly precise, does not make assumptions, but also alludes to the fact that there is something very sinister about what is going on. And highly recommend you guys not only checking this out, but recommending this to all of your Momo friends, because it is the one thing that might open them up to what is going on. Because it does not get any more authoritative than a figure like this speaking about what is going on. Of course, the mainstream media will make you believe that this guy is not a real authority figure and so forth. But ladies and gentlemen, you make up your minds for yourself. The most beautiful thing to come out of this podcast, though, was Dr. Malone, after having been kicked off of Twitter recently, spoke about another social media platform that has taken the world by storm. Now, I wasn't aware of this. It's called Getter. Apparently, this thing is booming, particularly after it was recommended on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast by Dr. Malone. Now, this thing is rising, ladies and gentlemen. It is essentially an alternative to Twitter. You guys got to get on this. I'm going to get on this. In fact, as soon as I finish this video, I'm going to get on the Getterverse. And what's interesting is Joe Rogan, who just recently got onto this thing, has amassed over 8 million followers, and that was just recently. Probably has like 10 million now. I don't know. I haven't checked. And Dr. Robert Malone obviously has a following. I'm going to have at least one follower after this video. Be sure to check out my Getter account. It'll be on once I've uploaded this video. I'll be under Chris Jewell. That's at KRISHOOL. And ladies and gentlemen, it really is beautiful to see what is going on in terms of Twitter after they took Dr. Malone off for literally nothing other than posting his opinion, contradicting the narrative, or simply just getting people to think, as is happening with many people. And he's been taken off of the Twitterverse. He's been taken off of many social media platforms. This is what is happening all around the world. I've experienced this, I've experienced this for simply just saying things, that the mainstream media has reported, and I have been taken off. And it's great to know that there are alternatives. And Twitter is going to have a lot to worry about pretty soon when they realize that this kind of behavior is not being accepted by the mainstream majority. We're actually moving onto other platforms because we don't like this, oh, you're not allowed to speak things that are not accepted by the mainstream narrative. This weird world we're living in at the moment, where the government has taken it upon itself to not only govern where you can go, whether you can leave your home, but what you can say on social media platforms. And if they're not doing it, these private entities are doing it. And look, I get it. Private companies have a right to ban who they want. I get it. I absolutely respect that. But you know what? We also have the right not to support these industries, to show our disgust in what they're doing by moving off of their platform onto other platforms. And, there was recently a protest, a gathering in Queensland just a few days ago, where a group of people decided to amass on the streets in Queensland and tell the popo, essentially form a barricade, telling them that they weren't going to go ahead with these unlawful laws, mind you. A lot of people have this idea, it's a law, it's a stupid law. There's this law now where people like you and I can't even serve the unclean because it's been deemed inappropriate by the great and powerful empire. And these people essentially said, look, mate, we're not going along with this stuff. No, mate.
We were not ready to discriminate against people, and that's why we've taken a stand. It was more about the discrimination than anything else.
The cops came and fined the business yesterday. They said if you don't change your ways and stop serving unvaccinated people, we'll be back today to shut you down.
The human chain successfully stopped law enforcement from shutting the small business down.
3.5 hours, we're done for today, so 3, 2, 1.
And decided to form a barrier preventing the police from intervening. And granted, they've been threatened with fines and all of this other jazz. Essentially, they're standing for their rights. I mean, think about this. How crazy is it that we live in a world right now where the government can tell us who we are going to serve? Like, actually force us to discriminate against certain individuals. I mean, imagine this. This is the 21st century. This isn't the 1960s where they're saying, oh, look, mate, you can't, or I'm sorry, you can't serve any black people because black people, they're unclean. No, this is Australia, mate. This is the 21st century around the world. They are trying to force you not to serve certain people because they're deemed unclean. And it's beautiful to see a lot of people say, no, mate, we're not having it. This is exactly what happened just a few days ago. And what's interesting is now we are seeing countries like Bosnia. Bosnia has become the first country in Europe without a COVID pass. They've said no to this, or you need to have a pass showing that you're clean in order to enter certain areas. So a Bosnian lawyer, Mirnes Ajanovic, defeated the Bosnian federal government. So according to this article I came across, government didn't put the Boom Shakalaka pass in action. Bosnian lawyer Mirnes Ajanovic defeated the government's intention to take freedom from Bosnian citizens by imposing a COVID Boom Shakalaka. With his law skills and constitutional knowledge, and with official papers from Pfizer, he managed to defeat government and prevent it to impose the Boom Shakalaka pass. Mirnes Ajanovic succeeded in applying the BIH constitution laws and criminal charges, concrete evidence that Boom Shakalaka people, according to this, transmit the virus as well as on-Boom Shakalaka ones, and that it is absurd to introduce a code certificate to force the FBIH government to withdraw the decree, and for the cantons to give up the introduction of totalitarianism and discrimination against citizens. So bottom line, this guy's making the obvious argument, but you know what? There's no argument that supersedes the fact that you can't force me to do anything if I'm not directly harming anyone in the process. That's the basis of what we call the natural law. This whole safety, oh yeah, but you might infect someone, you might do this and that, is the argument of tyrants. It is the plea of every madman, every criminal. But for some reason, we've decided to legislate this as law. And it's gotten to the point where people are so apathetic, they're willing to go ahead with this kind of stuff. And people like Dr. Malone, people like yours truly, the Chocolate Nubian, is saying, no, I'm not down with that shit. That stuff is absolutely foobar. And I'm not going along with it. And I'm going to make sure that I devote my energy to fighting this agenda. Plant myself like a tree beside the river of truth. Ladies and gentlemen, if you believe in doing so and planting yourself like a tree beside the river of truth and saying no to the nonsense that you see befalling this planet, then be sure to check us out on Getter. Check us out on the social medias. I'm everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Check us out. Chris Yule. Put some links below. I have some backup YouTube accounts in case YouTube doesn't approve of what I'm saying. Until next time, this is the Chocolate Nubian Soul Brother, aka the Esoteric Noetic. Kisses, hugs, and belly rubs. Ladies and gentlemen, stay strong in these turbulent times. Remember that there are three things that cannot remain hidden for long: the sun, the moon, and the wisdomatic truth bombs of yours truly, the Chocolate Nubian Soul Brother. Surya Namaskara. Namaste. Ow!
What is liberty?
What the? Who says you can't build muscle on a vegan diet?
What's it like being a hottie in the vegan community?
There are no political solutions, only technological ones.
The economics of the system don't allow multiple competing systems to survive.
Engineering, technology, these arts of humanity, they are magic.